I was really enjoying the rain, especially in the early morning on Saturday. But as Sunday appeared, it was still raining. I went to the bottom of Hillmead Apartments around 8:30 a.m. to see if I could cross. I waded out into the water, and it was about 10 inches deep. I called my cousin Zeke, who does a lot of rescue work, to see what he thought about crossing. He was non-committal, and I went home. I tried to call the non-emergency lines and fire department, but all lines were busy. Restless at home, I decided to try again. This time I saw others cross the road, and I went for it. Then I drove around Bellevue looking for the fire department, but I couldn't find it. I looped back through and turned on Sawyer Brown Road. It wasn't long before I saw the red lights, cars, and water. I'd arrived on the scene of a disaster. I walked to the first fireman. He told me to talk to another, who directed me to the man under the tree with the yellow t-shirt on. I asked if he needed a boat. Yes was his answer. I hopped in my little Dodge Ram 88 and headed for home to get my boat. And then it hit me. I'm not sure what it was, but I was overwhelmed. I called my buddy Sam to see if he would help. He was taking care of his dad. At one point, he told me he couldn't hear me. I was choked up. I told myself I had to get all the crying out now, that I had work to do, and these people didn't need to see me upset. Got to the house, found my keys, packed some ham, and headed out the door in my raincoat, shorts, and Tevas. Driving to the scene, I was reminded that the most dangerous time was to and from an accident. I had to slow down. I had to take my time. I arrived on the scene. It was easy to tell the scene because there was no more road. I backed my little truck and trailer in the water, but this was no boat ramp. The boat would not float, and water was in my muffler gurgling, and I was worried about 10 inches earlier. Now I'm in the water, and men are giving me addresses of where to go on little slips of paper. It was raining so hard the addresses faded, and I'm too hopped up on adrenaline to remember squat. One very big man comes up and says the folks he's been taking care of need to be rescued. Off we go, down the street, not sure of what is under my boat. Thankfully, I brought a camera because words could not express what I was seeing. Taking a right in my boat at the stop sign, I saw water up to roofs, cars submerged, weird stuff floating in the water. The man wants me to head off across an open expanse of water to find his people. There was no way to get there through the trees and across the Harpeth River. I'm not crazy, and I've seen enough bad water where the inexperienced have died. We circled back and followed another boat to the river Plantation clubhouse. There were soaked people everywhere, needing a ride to safety. Young kids, dogs, old people, scared people, not sure how bad their loss was. I tried not to say anything stupid. I told them my name, asked theirs. A few smiled. We got to dry land. The big man stayed behind to find another way to his people. Justin hopped in, and off we went back to the clubhouse. The lightning was right overhead. I'm thinking I should call Zeke to see just how dangerous this is, but I knew. Only fools from the blessed make it in this kind of weather. I apologized for cursing every time the lightning hit. Justin said he was a truck driver and it was okay. Next boatload, more tired, drained people and pets. I suggested we all pray. This was very nasty. Hard rain, storm right on top of us. Nowhere to hide, no choice but to go on. Next group landed. They didn't say a thing, just got out and went. More trips. One woman recognized me. One girl did too. She worked at CVS in Bellevue. We smiled. More and more trips. Up Sawyer Brown Road, calling for people, but none came or just looked. Back to the clubhouse and more people in the boat. Finally, all were gone from the clubhouse but the volunteers and police. I told them this was my last trip. All of a sudden, an official boat with dudes dressed in yellow helmets, blue wetsuits, and cute red life preservers showed up to start rescuing people. Then their engine wouldn't start, and they had to walk away with their boat. One fellow pulled out a bottle of Jack. And man, I needed the warmth. My fingers had begun to get numb, and I was soaked from head to toe. Finally, the police and others got in, and we went back to the drop-off point. I dropped everyone off and decided to go back just one more time. One man who rode with me jumped off to go look for family. Finally, he came back, but couldn't find them. A policeman with a white helmet on got in, and then we saw the 90-year-old gal needing a lift. Slowly and carefully, we positioned the boat against the rock wall, and they lifted her in. She was cheerful and so happy to have a ride to safety. As we pulled into the landing, news crews were there, and I disappeared back into oblivion. There'll be no plaque, no ceremonies. A friend said I did it because I was worried about people. I'm not sure that's it. I just wanted to help, and I knew I was good with a boat. Thanks God for saving us again.